Hello everybody, my name is Bobby Martins and I will be walking you through today's webinar on how to successfully move up or move down in today's market. I've been one of San Diego's top move up and move down specialists since 2002. I created my website Move Up San Diego in 2004. I absolutely love helping people move up and move down. I really believe that if you're going to be paying a mortgage, it should be being paid towards a home that you can stay in for several years. And so it's really a passion of mine to help my clients get to that property that they can be in for quite some time so that you can build strong financial future for yourself. So let's go ahead and dive right into this webinar. I want to respect your time, so I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible. So let's look at some of the different scenarios. You know, you've got a lot of people out there living in condos and townhomes, and they would love to get into that detached home. Well, it's a lot cheaper than you would think. And then you've also got people that are maybe, you know, maybe they're in their in a nice home, but maybe they want to get into a dream home like this. Well, we've been able to do that for our clients time and time again, and so we can definitely help you and walk you through the process. So now downsizing, you know, a lot of times, you know, the kids move out, they're off to college, they got a job, they don't need you anymore, right? So now, you know, now it's off to get some traveling in. So, you know, leaving a big house behind while you're traveling the world for years on end is not really the best financial decision. So a lot of times people decide to sell that big house and maybe, you know, get yourself a smaller house or a condo or townhome, and then you know, then hit the world up and check out all the great thing this world has to offer. So, you know, something that I look forward to doing one day with my lovely wife. So now let's go ahead and look at how interest rates affect this whole process. See, you know, the way I look at it is the easiest time to make a move up or move down is when the rates are the cheapest. It's the best thing that you can do for your financial future, because if you're going to be paying a 30-year mortgage, you know, let's say you want to get into that 20-year house. Well, you know, if you're paying 6%, that's going to be extremely expensive compared to 3.5% or 4%. So, you know, you look at this chart here. This is based off of a $1 million loan. If you look at the interest rate at 4%, you know, the cost is only 1.7 over the course of 30 years. Look at 6%. It's 2,158. So more than double, you know, over the course of a 30-year mortgage. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to, you know, when you look at these numbers, you know, if you want to save money, you know, you gotta do these moves when the rates are really low. And, you know, the 100-year average for interest rate is at 7%. If you look right here, that's huge. I mean, 7%, that's a, you know, right now we're in the 3.5%, 4% range. So, you know, and that fluctuates every day, but, you know, anything under 4% is just absolute free money. And so that's why making a move right now is really smart, because what happens if you're, over the next year or so, rates jump a point or even 2 points? Well, I got news for you. You're probably going to have to sit in your property for a while, and you know, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, because that property is probably going to be losing value, because if the rates are higher, the market typically slows down and either goes down or just flattens. So that's why it's so critical, and I can't say this enough. Everybody I talk to, you know, I ask them the same question: is your home going to meet your needs for the next 5 to 10 years? If the answer is no, and, you know, even if you're a couple of years off from it being a problem, maybe you have 2 kids right now, and you know, they're sharing a room or whatever, and, you know, and maybe 2 years from now you're going to need that extra space. Do it now. Don't wait, because if the rates go up, you're going to be stuck there, and you're going to end up having to move out and rent somewhere, which is not something we want for you. So now, who am I? And I'm going to go through this very quickly because I hate talking about myself. My name is Bobby Martins, and I've been selling real estate since 2002. And I've lived in San Diego since 1984. Moved out here when I was very young, from Boston, Massachusetts. I married this lovely woman, Cheryl, who is the love of my life, and we've been married going on actually 14 years plus. So I've got two wonderful kids, a 9-year-old and 6-year-old, Gavin and Sabrina. And when I got into real estate, I really focused on trying to be the best I can be and learn as much as I can, and really focused on customer-client relations. Because if we don't do a great job for our clients, then every day we're looking for new business. The way that my business is built right now is that I have business coming to me from my past clients. They are constantly referring their friends and family to me, and then when they're ready to make another move, they're calling me as well. And that's really because I truly, truly care about my clients, and I absolutely love this business, and I've become an expert in every area of real estate, on residential real estate. Here's some of my professional designations. I am in the top 1% of agents in San Diego out of 20,000 plus agents. There's a lot of agents in San Diego, so knowing who you are working with is extremely important. Make sure you interview them. Make sure you do the research on them. You can go to Zillow.com and punch in their name and see what kind of productivity they're doing, how many properties they've sold over their lifetime, over the last 12 months. If they don't have reviews, if there's not a lot of sales there, then what that means is they're either a newer agent or they're not productive. And if they're not productive, they're not going to be able to help you, to thrive in this type of market. So now we've consistently been in the top 1% of sales production in the country. In 2012, we were the #1 team for units sold in all of San Diego County, which is a huge honor because there's a lot of great Keller Williams teams in San Diego. All of these are designations, and I'm also a broker, so I'm not just a realtor. So I am considered an expert in residential real estate. Here I am in Executive Agent Magazine. This article was about how we create positive experiences and our use of technology. I am very big in technology. It's something that I always make sure we're at the forefront of anything technology, whether it's on the listing side or the buying side. We've got every single tool you could possibly have in real estate. Here I am on the American Dreams show as the move up and move down expert. I've been on this show countless times, and love sharing my insight on how to move up and move down. It's always a fun time. All right, so like I said, who you work with matters. Make sure you do the research on whoever agent you are currently working with, or obviously we would love the opportunity to help you, and we do offer free consultations where we will let you know what the value of your home is, and we'll actually, one of the things that we do differently is we really focus in on what the new house is going to be too, so we can actually show you that there are options out there for you, because the last thing we want to do is sell your house and then you be disappointed on the next property because there isn't good options for you. So we're very focused on that, and we're not going to tell you like, hey, sell today, and then put you into some property that you don't want to be in. If there's not options for you out there, if maybe you're being unrealistic about what you want on the next house, we're going to let you know, because we're very straightforward, and we're not here to be salesmen and try and just push you into a property. We really care about building that lifelong relationship with you. All right, so let's get into the main portion of this webinar, which is some of the different ways that you can move up or move down. And so I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible, out of respect for your time. So one of the best options is buy your next home first, then sell your current home. This is called a non-contingent purchase. Now, there's pros to this, and there's a few cons. So the pros are, we will get you a better price because your offer is not contingent on the selling of your current home. Picture you're selling your property and 5 offers come in. You're going to end up selling it to the guy that doesn't have a contingency, and so but that you're going to get the best price on that property, because that guy the seller wants to sell to somebody who can sell now, or I'm sorry, who could buy now. So it's so you're going to get a good price on that home. Now, you could also take your time in writing up offers to ensure you love the new home. And in fact, we have a love it or leave it guarantee on any home that you purchase from us. Within 12 months, if you are not 100% satisfied, you can call me up and I will sell that home for free. The only thing you have to do is pay a buyer's agent commission, but I will sell the home for free on the listing side. Now, another pro is you get to shop without a deadline, which is great. You don't have to feel rushed. You can remodel the new home while you're living in the old home, which is fantastic. Now, the cons of this is you may have two mortgages for a while, which is uncomfortable for a lot of people. And then here's the big one, and this is what pushes a lot of people. Is the fact that you have to qualify for two mortgages unless you are buying cash. And so, the bank is going to want to have both of those mortgages against your debt to income ratios. So qualifying makes it very, very difficult. And then here's the other big one, is that you just don't know your exact proceeds from the selling of your old home will be. So it makes it tough, when buying, because you don't want to overbuy because you don't know what your proceeds are. One other con here that I will say, and it's not 100% related to this, but if you do keep your house and you have a huge gain, you have 3 years to sell that property without paying that gain. If it's your primary residence and it's just you, it's $250,000 gain that you don't have to pay taxes on. If you're married, it's a $500,000 gain. So that's why a lot of people say, you know what, it makes more sense to sell the house, don't pay taxes on that huge gain, and some people will buy a new property and then they'll just go out and buy like a condo or a small house if they wanted a rental property, because they're buying that money with that is not taxed, and so there's really a lot of tax advantages. Highly suggest talking with your tax professional. We have a great one that we can refer if you need help in that regards. Option 2, and this is the number one way that we do the move up and move down process. This seems to be the most efficient and puts you in a good, powerful negotiation stance on both sides of the transaction. Let's go through the pros. First off, if you get your house sold and it actually, just right before closing or right at, or maybe it has closed, you can make a non-contingent offer. So that means you're going to a seller and you're saying, I've already sold my house, I can buy your house, here's our offer. In that scenario, you're going to get a better deal on that house because that seller does not have to wait for you to go sell your house. So another pro is you have the cash in hand, ready to write offers. Strong negotiation position because the sellers don't have to wait for your home to sell, only have to move once, no qualification issues. You can maximize on the sales price because you aren't in a hurry to sell, which is huge. Because here's what happens in a lot of scenarios. Let's say you want to find the house first, and we'll talk more about this later, but if you want to find the house first and then sell, that presents a lot of problems. And I'll talk more about that when we get to that slide. But let's continue on with the cons. You have to make a decision with a certain time frame, which this is actually probably the biggest cons is because you only have a certain amount of time to buy that next house, and so many people are fearful, thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to find something. Well, I can tell you, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I can count on one hand how many times people weren't able to find something. I mean, it's very, very rare. You become my hottest client when your house goes into escrow. And so we have about 105 days, so about 3 months to get you into that next home. And I can tell you, it just happens. And when I say it happens, you don't settle. We find something that you love. We're not just waiting for homes to come on the multiple listing service. What we do is a lot more aggressive than what most people do. Door knocking. We call all the top agents in the areas that you're looking for, trying to find pocket listings or homes coming on the market. We call around neighborhoods that you're interested in. Let's say you're interested in a certain spot in La Jolla or Del Mar. We've done Facebook ads trying to find people looking to sell so that we can maybe find some properties that aren't on the market. There's a lot of things that we do that are just way different and very aggressive and innovative. So that's why we don't have problems, and you end up finding the home that you love, and we get it for you at a good price. So now, renting your own home at the buyer's payment is common. So if you have a very low mortgage and payment, and then a new buyer comes in with a higher payment, you're going to be, basically renting at that higher payment, unless we negotiate otherwise, which is possible too. So that doesn't have to be the case. Now, if you don't find a proper replacement property, you may have to move into a rental or ask for an extension. But again, on one hand, I can count how many times that's have had to happen. I've done 500 plus transactions. So this is not something that you should worry about when you're working with me. Is that something that could happen with other agents? Absolutely. But I can assure you, we do everything possible to make sure that it does not happen with us. Option 3, sell your current home first, move into a rental so you can take your time on selecting your next home. Here's the pros. Non-contingent offer on a new home. Have cash in hand ready to write offers. Strong negotiation position for new home. No deadline to make a decision. No qualification issues. You know exactly how much you made on the sale of your old home. Cons, you have to move twice, losing your equity growth and tax advantages while renting. Finding temporary housing is a pain. Like I said, option 3, and having to go rent is not something we want you to do, and we do everything possible to make sure that does not happen. So we will make sure it won't. Option 4, find your next home first with a contingency of you selling your home, then sell your current home. This is the absolute worst, but this is actually seen a lot out there, and it's mostly because homeowners are wanting this, and it's because you feel like, hey, I'm not going to find something. You kind of get down on the whole process, and you get negative, and I understand that, I get it. But the reality is that if you're working with the right person, this is not a good option. You need somebody who's going to be extremely aggressive to make sure one of the other options are used, not this option. Because here's what happens in this scenario. You end up in a weak negotiation position on both sides of the transaction. So let's walk through this real quick. And this is really important, so please pay close attention, because this is really the biggest reason why you don't want to do this option. So let's say we find your dream property, and you've been looking for months and months. You write up an offer. Well, guess what? You're probably not going to get it, because there's probably multiple offers on it, because it's probably something that other people want to. So now you're extremely disappointed and discouraged. So you may actually say, you know what? I'm fine in this house, even though it's too small or even though it's too big. I'm going to go ahead and stay because I'm so disappointed I lost this house. So that's one scenario. Here's another scenario. Maybe it's an overpriced property. You like it, so you say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put in an offer. Seller says, no, I want more money. I'll give you your time to go sell your house, but I want more money. So now you've overpaid for that property. And so out of fear of not losing that property, because you do like the property, you go back and you underprice your property, or you're quick to try and sell your property, which could leave money on the table. So that's obviously not a good option, because then now you're losing money on both sides of the transaction, and that's just to me unacceptable. I want to put you in a winning scenario on both sides and make sure that you get the best deal possible. So on the pros here, you can locate a home while staying in your current home, and that's the biggest pro. Cons, you're in a weak position on both sides of the transaction. Your offer will be contingent offer, so harder to get accepted. You have to make a stronger offer to win the bid, usually pay more. If you find a home you love, you have to rush the sale of your current home, which usually means sell for less. This is not recommended by us at all, and so I hope you understand that, and happy to talk with you further on that as well. So these are the options. We can help you make the best decision. As you can see, there are several options to complete your move up and move down process. The key is hiring an experienced agent at simultaneous transactions. That way you minimize the risk involved in carrying two loans or ending up with without a place to live. We are confident that we will always keep you in a powerful negotiation position, and we will always look out for your best interest. How to sell for top dollar. So we're going to just kind of dive into a few different things. Obviously decluttering your garage and cleaning out your closets and making your tax deductible donations to local charities. Put everything in storage. One of the things that we believe that is just absolute paramount is you only have one shot to impress these people. The hottest buyers that come into your home are going to be coming into your home in the first 3 weeks. And if you don't impress them and compel them to write up an offer, well, then you have to start reducing your price. And we don't want you to do that. We want you to sell for the absolute top dollar. So getting the house ready is really an extremely important part of the process, and we help you with that. We have a concierge service that will help you with anything that you need. If you need help getting things boxed up, and you need painting and contractors and plumbers and all this stuff, we help facilitate all of that, because we have a great program called Commitment to Excellence, where we've basically gone out and found some of the best contractors around, and we've asked them to commit to providing the most excellent customer service to our clients. And so, if they don't, we fire them, and they don't get those referrals ever again from us. So it's a great program, and we'd love to share more with you in the future. So take a look at your house like you are buying it. Here's the biggest problem: is you've been living in your house for many years, and you walk by those issues, and you know what those issues are. I don't have to point them out to you, but you've walked by them so many times that you just ignore them. Well, when you're buying or when you're selling, you have to immediately make the decision of, I don't live here anymore. I need to set this property up as if I were, as if you were a model home, if you were, you're the one buying it. So you're going through and you're with a fine-tooth comb, and you're making sure that everything looks as good as possible. And again, we have people to help with that, so it's not something you even have to lift a finger. So it's very, very important part of the process. Spend an hour with a pro. As a free service, we review properties and make suggestions to improve your home's value. Another option is hiring an interior designer. A standard hourly rate usually runs less than an hour. Now, or 100 an hour, excuse me. What we do is actually include that in our service. We pay somebody to come over and help with the design of the property, give you tips on what to do and how to freshen it up. They can help also, so that's something that they can be hired to do to help stage the property, and it's a very, very important part of the process. So it's not something to be taken lightly. Pricing it right. Okay, now when pricing it right doesn't mean price it low. Okay, many agents out there, all they care about is a quick sale. I'm definitely not one of them. I look at myself as a protector of your equity. I treat every single dollar like it's my dollars, and I do everything I can to make sure we maximize on the sale. So pricing it right is very, very important. And so we look at all of the comparable sales with you and help you determine a good sales price. But you got to keep in mind, you got to be taking yourself out of the emotional process of selling your home, because many sellers make the mistake of thinking that their house is so much better than everybody around them, and so that therefore they should sell for more than everybody else around them. And so you've got to look at it fairly, and then that way you can make sure you're pricing it correctly. And by pricing it correctly, we will create bidding wars that will sell it over market in most situations. That is always our goal. Now, making a good first impression, as I said earlier, is extremely important. It's very hard to get people out for second showings if it didn't look good the first time. So we suggest not putting it on the market until it's 100% ready to go, and we've got a clean property that is easy to view, You've depersonalized the property. You've taken out a lot of the personal items, pictures and all these things on the wall. Of course, you still live in the house. We understand that, and there's going to be things that you're going to want to keep, and we totally get that. But you want to minimize those types of things because they are distractions and will cause people to not be able to feel 100% comfortable and at ease in your home. If you have all of your personal knickknacks and everything that you love all over the place, it's hard for them to fall in love with it. So now, selling your current home first. Do not sign a deal for your new home before you sell the old home. Doing so can put you at a disadvantage. You may be put in a position where you are desperate to sign the first deal that comes along. We already talked about that, and you know how I feel. Now, a couple little things here. One of the things that drives me crazy is why so many people rent here in San Diego. So if you're on this call and you're renting, we want to help you too. It's not something, you don't have to have a property in order for us to help you. We will take any first-time home buyers and we will get them into a property. Even if you bought before and maybe you're renting now, we'll definitely help you out. But look at this scenario on a $387,000 purchase. A rent payment. You look at this. I mean, it's unbelievable how much rent this is. And look at the net monthly payment here. This one here, 30-year fixed at 5% down, $1,585. A VA 30-year fixed with 0 down, which is still available for people. $1,433 is your net payment after your tax benefit and everything else. I mean, that's fantastic. So, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at these numbers and know that it's always smart to own a property. And here's the big thing here. Look at the freedom point, the last line here. Notice there's no freedom point with renting. You're always going to be paying for that property if you're a renter. Here, you got 30 years. So if you're a young person and you're watching this, really take this to heart and try and get you into that long-term property as quickly as you can so that you can start that 30-year clock and eventually own your home and not have any payments. Here's a scenario which I'd like to share. With this person here is a client that we helped. $415,000 was the home that we sold, and they bought a home for $640,000. So as you can see, the monthly was $1,200 difference. So it cost them just about $1,200 to go up over $200K more, which is great. I mean, they lowered their interest rate. They bought a much bigger house. It was actually double the size of their current house, and their payment didn't jump that much. So that was a good one that we helped. This one here was actually a move down, and this one is one of my favorite stories because this one was not an easy transaction. The house that we were selling was very, very beat up, and so they were faced with, do we sell this house that is $1 million in the Carmel Valley area? Do we go ahead and sell this house, or do we remodel it and put $200,000 or $300,000 into it? Well, they didn't really have $200,000 or $300,000 to put into the house, and they were tired of living in a beat-up house, so they sold it. And so we crushed it for them on the sales price, and then we got them an amazing house, not too far away, a little bit further east over the Penasquitos area, still great school system. And look at the savings per month, $2,134. And that's like 24, 25 grand a year that they're saving. And here's the best part. They didn't lose a single bedroom. They have a home now that's completely remodeled, and it had a brand new pool. And so they saved so much money, and now they are doing so great. They've been able to save a lot of money. They're going on vacations. They are not worried about making that mortgage payment anymore, because they clearly can make it because it's gone down so much lower than where it was. So one of my favorite move down scenarios, and super great family that we really love to help. So that's that basically concludes our webinar. What's the next step for you? Well, I would say pick up the phone and call me directly. This is my cell phone. or you can email me at bobby@moveupsandiego.com. We would love to provide you with a free consultation, and we will walk you through and show you all the tips and pointers and help you determine if right now is a good move up time or move down time. One of the things that we do is we examine the current market to make sure that there's properties out there for you, and we even look at the last 6 months of solds so that you can see what has sold and would have any of those properties worked for you. If we look at the history of the last 6 months and only 2 or 3 properties would have been of interest, then it's a tougher scenario. Maybe you don't want to make a move right now because there's not enough inventory. But maybe you look at the last 6 months of sales and you say, wow, there was 25 homes that we would have loved to buy. Well, then that tells you that there's homes out there, and there might not be an exact one right this second, but that tells when you look at the past, it's a good indicator of what's to come. So we can definitely help you with this process, and would love to help you out. Also want to give a special shout out to my lender, Mr. Eric Union. This guy is one of the best in the business, if not the best in San Diego. Does a great job of helping you walk you through the whole mortgage planning process, and him and I have formed a terrific partnership and really have helped a lot of families save money and move up into bigger properties or move down into smaller properties. So highly recommend giving Eric a call, and he can definitely help you out. In closing, we hope you found this webinar informative. We make it a point to go above and beyond for all of our clients. Our team of professionals and our dynamic marketing systems have largely contributed to our success and the success of our clients. The next step is to put Bobby Martin's Realty Group to work for you. Who you work with matters. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Please give me a call anytime. Bobby Martin's 858-204-7259. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.